As most of you probably already know by now, Breath of the Wild is by far the largest, most jam-packed Zelda game to date. Filled to the brim with all sorts of content, secrets, references, and mysteries. But I've said this all before, so I'll cut to the chase. Around a week ago, I made a video covering 5 secrets in Breath of the Wild that you might have missed, researching extensively to cover only secrets I haven't seen other creators discuss, to ensure that they are actually new news. Due to how much you guys loved that video and the demand for a part 2 judging off your guys' comments, I'm here today to present to you 5 more secrets in Breath of the Wild that you might have missed. Before we begin, be sure to go check out the first video if you haven't already, and more importantly, be sure to go grab yourself a snack or drink and let's get into the Secrets of the Wild Part 2. Kicking off today's secrets takes us to the humble outskirts stable, tucked away behind the mighty Colosseum and neighbouring the Great Plateau. Here, Link can meet up and obtain a couple of really interesting side quests from the residents, one of them being the Royal White Stallion quest given out by TLOZ. Link must seek out the former steed of Princess Zelda, as rumours have been floating around that it has been spotted in the local area. However, there is another really interesting side quest which may hide many deep secrets. If Link heads over to the tree across from the stable building, he can talk to a lady called Eliza, which is also claimed to be a sacred tree, but I don't know, it seems pretty normal to me. Anyway, if Link talks to her, she will recognise Link as the hero, only to take it back regardless of if Link confirms he is the hero or denies it. She'll take her initial statement back either way. This segues into the side quest, My Hero, where Eliza will task Link of finding the legendary blade and returning if and when he has it to prove that he is in fact the hero. What's even stranger here is that she knows of the blade's rough location, stating it rests within a forest, which whilst isn't the most descriptive hint, she isn't wrong. Now the secret / mystery here is, how does she know about all of this? I mean, she isn't exactly an elder who can happen to remember the hero. She appears to have been born many years after the Great Calamity 100 years ago, a time when the hero wasn't present at all. To add to that, she also knows the tale of the Master Sword. Could Eliza be some sort of long-lost family member of the royal family? I mean, this stable already has one resident who knows some info in the royal family, that being Princess Zelda's horse. Granted, TLOZ is a bit older. Perhaps this stable was commonly used by the royal family back in the day. Maybe it was the safest or easiest route to the Sanadin Park ruins, which was visited by at least the princess fairly often, as seen in the To Mount Lanayru memory. I'm not sure what it is, but this little mystery behind Eliza makes me wonder about how she knows all of this time and time again. The Kingdom of Hyrule, found tens of thousands of years down the Zelda timeline, is one left in ruin. Destroyed and flooded villages, small settlements like the Shadow Hamlet burned to ashes, and of course your average ruins found all across central Hyrule. Whilst they all appear rather generic at times, there is one type of ruin we can find that is actually interesting. These block-designed ruins. From a floor plan view, they are a square-shaped ruin with nothing but a staircase leading to the roof and an inside containing 2 barred windows and a doorframe. There is also often a little watchtower room of sorts nearby and a pathway. After my last video covering 5 secrets in Breath of the Wild, I saw a comment asking about what these ruins are, as they are seen commonly across Hyrule, but there is no description or history on them. Looking at them, my guess is that they were small outposts for guards. They are mainly found across central Hyrule, the region that likely had the most guards and knights, only second to the Akkala Citadel. Considering they have barred windows, it's likely the inside, at some point in the past, had walls and possibly barred walls, for holding prisoners and suspects until they were ready to be released, or if the crime was major, transferred to the main prison over by Hyrule Castle. That's just my guess though. I see this as a secret mainly because I know people, including myself, have wondered what these structures were for, but I guess they are just generic ruins at the end of the day as well. We'll never know, I guess. Moving on to a little secret that's more of an active one. If you've played around with the combat mechanics in Breath of the Wild for a little while, you may have discovered that you can actually make enemies fight each other. And I'm not even talking about moblins picking up the goblins against their will and launching them at Link like a human cannonball. I'm talking about enemies straight up going after each other. They may all be under Ganon's malice-fueled control, but they can definitely get on each other's nerves. However, there is a little secret that one-ups enemies fighting each other, and it involves the Zelda series' all-time greatest, strongest, deadliest, and quite honestly, most terrifying enemy. Cuckoos. Yup, the chickens of the Zelda series. Whether you're a long-time Zelda fan or a newcomer, I'm sure you know that cuckoos are extremely deadly if you annoy them. As an example, here is what happens in Breath of the Wild if you decide to mess with one single cuckoo. Yeah, they legit call in reinforcements to attack you, but trust me, Breath of the Wild's cuckoos are laid back compared to some in past games. Regardless, a cool little secret about them is, if you find yourself in combat and happen to be near a cuckoo, you can attempt to pick that cuckoo up, and when the enemy strikes, throw or place said cuckoo in the attack of the enemy, making the enemy strike the cuckoo. This results in the cuckoo still calling in reinforcements, but instead of against Link, it's on the enemy. And man, there is no way any enemy is stopping a cuckoo ambush. If only Link had a cuckoo nearby whenever fighting the evils of Hyrule. Armor and clothing in Breath of the Wild is by far the most expansive and in-depth apparel system in the entire series. From aesthetics and looks-based clothing to statistical-based armor sets designed to up specific stats when worn. One of the coolest and honestly most badass being the Barbarian Armor, an ancient tribal warrior's gear that Link can wear, including war paint. Now, whilst the armor alone is pretty awesome, if you head to Hiteno village and visit Koshi's dye shop with ingredients to source the dye from, he will allow you to dye the Barbarian Armor, which is pretty cool because some armor and clothing cannot be altered, and considering the Barbarian Armor is made primarily of bones, I was actually surprised you could dye it. The little secret here is that when you go to pick your color of dye for the Barbarian Armor, unlike every other apparel dyeing option, it's not just the color that changes with the Barbarian Armor. The design of the war paint actually changes as well, which is an insanely small detail to notice at first sight, but if you browse the various color options, you will see the war paint design changes. Which is probably accurate to the culture of the tribe this belonged to, the Zonai. As from what I know, but don't quote me on it, war paint would vary from individual to individual. It's a small detail, but an awesome little secret exclusive to the Barbarian Armor. In the various regions of Hyrule, Link can encounter all sorts of climates. Breezing sunshine in the central regions of Hyrule, scorching hot heats up Death Mountain, and the ice cold of the Hebra region, which is where we are headed. The snow-covered Hebra region is actually one of my favourites due to how peaceful and ambient it can be. Especially atop the mountains up by Selmie's spot with her little cabin. The views you can get from up here are spectacular, from elegant snowfall to frosty wilderness. The Hebra Peaks and region as a whole has it all. One of my favourite views from here is the one found at the very top of the Hebra Mountains, the Hebra Peak. Given the correct conditions and time, you can spot some absolutely beautiful northern lights lustrously moving in the sky. This is one of the things that makes Breath of the Wild so amazing. It's touches like this from the developers that make me realise just how stunning the developers made this game. It's a sight many players miss, as after getting the Korok seed up on the peak of the Hebra Mountains, most players just head back down, but if you stay and watch the night sky or happen to be there at the right time, you will see the spectacular sight that is the Northern Hebra Lights. Thanks a ton for checking out this video, I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing for more Zelda content. What did you think of this episode of Sort on some more secrets in Breath of the Wild you might not have known about? Did you learn anything new, or did you already know some of these? Be sure to let me know in the comments below, along with any more subtle or discreet secrets you want me to cover in the future. Huge thanks to all of my Patreon supporters for your super generous support to my work here on YouTube. You all help me to keep making these videos week in, week out. Thank you all so much. The link to my Patreon page can be found in the card in the top right of the screen or link in the description, if you'd be interested in getting your name featured at the end of all of my videos and more. Again, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.